first of all, tell the people who you are, tell what you do on YouTube, and just generally speaking, what you do.
So my name is KillRed40. I'm a part of the channel, The Colors of Gaming. What we do is essentially just game reviews. I'd say that they're kind of like in-depth game reviews because we go through most of the games we beat, and then we go through it beat by beat, tell you exactly how we feel about every segment in it.
Where are the other colors? Like I see you the most. Like like just red.
Yeah, so we have Orange. He's like my friend. He'll come on every now and then. He's a really good critic, I think. I really like talking to him. He'll come on. We try to do like 2 episodes a month with him.
Mhm.
Sometimes that doesn't work. And then if he can't do that, that's where I come in and I just kind of fill in the gaps with just red. And green, she doesn't really like to be on the mic or anything, but she really enjoys designing our little monsters and doing the animations that you
Mhm.
see inside the videos.
And
It's a team effort.
there's one lost color, right? One color we lost forever.
Yeah, Blue is not a part of the show anymore.
Blue is sad.
Yeah, exactly. So
I'm always surprised when a channel can be run by 7 different people, because at the end of the day you have to deliver on time, and everyone has to agree on certain things. So how do you manage to do that?
well, I'm kind of a slave driver. No. Well, I will bother people, you know, but everybody's just kind of on board. They just want to do what we're doing. We all have a lot of fun
Mhm.
doing the show. Releasing a video, I don't know, especially if it's like a 30-minute one, or lately, this last one we did, the Mario one,
Yeah.
just watching that is just a ton of, it's very rewarding for everybody like on our team. So I think
Yeah.
that's really what drives us.
One thing that with time, I started to recognize more is the time investment. At the same time, I started to realize some stuff that looks like
Mhm.
it has a lot of time invested into it is like, oh, these are all presets. Like, there's no effort whatsoever in those videos. Maybe I'm throwing a little bit of shade here, but like just typical game essays videos, they're like, oh,
Oh.
nothing of that is like, even the script is like, I'm not talking about
Ours?
I'm not talking about our stuff. I'm talking
Oh.
about like stuff like typical game essay, like game essay, really
Oh.
game essay takes one topic apart in 10 minutes, and never comes to a conclusion. Basically, uh, it's like,
Yeah.
oh, the more I look into it, the more I know about editing. Like the more value it loses. Like, did you realize something when you started making videos, that something that you said, oh, this takes a lot of effort, then you suddenly realized, oh, this takes almost no effort?
Mm, I don't really know how other people do their stuff. For us, it's kind of a bit of a process, and it makes me respect a lot of creators a little bit more,
Yeah,
I
that
think.
yeah, it goes the both ways. Like one of certain
Mhm.
things I devalue, and certain things I value way more. Like especially
Yeah.
when I see someone keyframing something, like, oh yeah, that person spent a lot of time doing that.
Mhm. Um, yeah, I think the thing that I respect a lot now is just getting your audio
Yeah,
really good can be such a fucking struggle, you know?
yeah,
And with our show, I mean, I'll be honest, with our show, we're just like a ragtag group of people that don't really know what we're doing still. So like it's it's a lot of effort for us. So there are certain things though that I know what you're talking about. Like I have seen a lot of video quote unquote essays where all they do is they tell you what happens. They just summarize the game or the movie or whatever.
yeah,
I'll be 100% honest. I'm not like the biggest fan of that. It has to have some kind of commentary, you know?
yeah. I mean, I have to admit myself, I have a lot of recap as well, but I always try to throw in like even the script itself, like, oh, this is like just recap, cut that, and then just throw in my own opinion or something that is comparing something to another part of the game, or like typical stuff. My is the menu. I have menu obsession. Like I hate when menus like look weird or look bad or are missing stuff. Um, That's my bane of existence. Like every time I see a menu that looks shitty, I'm like, fuck off, please just. Or when it's not implemented properly, like please just one. Like I just need a few things, just a little bit of resolution here, window mode here, volume settings here, and that's it. Like that would already be fine. But not even those, especially in the indie scene, like not even those are there. Like every time I have to point it out. Or when a menu is well done, like. The loot game called Honeycomb Studio, and it's like it's actually really well done with the menu art and so on, and it's like it seems that someone put thought behind it. Like I like it when things have a reason behind why they exist, and that goes for videos as well.
Yeah, I agree. I think I was watching one of your videos where I think it was the racing one where you just were like menus. That made me chuckle quite a bit. I wanted to tell you that.
Yeah, like I am the menu guy. I have to admit it. Like I will I will rip your game apart if your menu doesn't look good. Like imagine like.
Go ahead.
Imagine like of course we always say, oh, you shouldn't judge a book by its cover, but fuck that. Of course you should judge a book by its cover. Like if your book cover was thrown together in Paint, everyone is gonna look at your book and is like, this looks shit. Like it can be the best game whatsoever. It was still making Paint. Like and if that was not the intent, to look like shit, then you basically failed in every possible way. So yeah, you should judge a book by its cover. Like the menu is the first thing someone is gonna see, and it's so important that it looks good.
I don't know. Is there any ugly games that you do like though?
Ugly games that I like? Undertale. Undertale is my the favorite game I like. It looks straight ugly. Like by any measurement, like it just looks ugly. Yeah, there are some characters that are fine, well designed, but no, it just looks bad. Especially when you compare it to its to the thing that inspired it, Mother. Mother looks good, or Earthbound. Like Earthbound looks good, and Undertale looks straight from hell. Like it doesn't look good.
Yeah. I mean, Undertale has like a good. I think it utilizes its weaknesses in a good way, though.
It's utilize its ugliness to shine through, because then you start to realize, oh, this story and this gameplay is really good. Like it's way above anything else that you played in this genre, probably.
Well, I haven't played too much of Undertale. I need to.
You need to, yeah. I mean, I can force people because like this like very emotional game for me. Undertale, like I can't play it again. I will never play the game again. It's impossible for me to play it again. It's done. It's perfect. But I can as an observer, I'm seeing like, like graphics are shit. I think the menu is even equally worse. Like there are no settings around. I as far as I can remember.
Okay.
There's a little bit of you have to, if you don't know what you have to do, you will never get the ending you want, which is fine, but like it's very well hidden, kind of. Like it forces you to either backtrack a lot, or you have to Google it, which I did.
So you were going for like a specific one. You didn't just let it go.
Yeah. I played it once normal without any knowledge, and then I said, "There's only one ending for me. There's only one end for me." And then I wanted that ending. I did get that ending, and even lore-wise, for me to start out the game again would be a sin for me. Like if I started it again, I tried the games to play again, it would be, it would go against what the game wanted to teach me.
I get you.
Which is, as a reviewer, it's like, yeah, it's the worst thing you can do to a player, not allowing the reviewer to play it again. Because if I review the game, I would need to play it again, probably a second time or a third time, and then maybe play even specific sections to try certain things out. So yeah. How do you like?
Yeah, it would be a lot of work.
Yeah. How do you review games?
Well, like you want to know the process of it?
Yeah, the process, like from beginning to end. You find the game out and then.
Yeah, so I find a game. I generally play it for like 10 or 20 minutes without really doing anything with it. And I figure out, okay, is there a lot? Am I going to be able to say a lot about this game, right? If I can't, then I just don't do the video because I'm not really like what's the word? Like a professional reviewer.
Yeah.
I don't have to write about shit that I don't want to write about, right? Or talk about, I guess. So then if the game is working out, I try to play it once. Well, I do play it all the way through once. And then in our videos, we just we go through it beat by beat. I talk about the things that I like, what I don't like, and just kind of my general impressions of it. And, you know, if there's any themes in there that I feel like are hidden, I try to bring those up as well. But something that I do want to say is like a lot of people think that our videos are scripted when they're completely not. They're like right off the cuff.
Yeah, you can see that or can hear that once you like listen to cues in the video. Like, okay, this is cut off. Like there was something afterwards, but like this is cut off. You can.
We do edit it.
Yeah, you barely notice it, but for someone that edits, like you notice it. As a viewer, as a normal viewer, nobody realizes that this is like a cut off segment.
Mm-hmm.
How much do you have? Do you have like an hour and then you cut it down to half, or it depends on the video?
It depends on kind of the conversation. Generally with conversations, I have noticed that like you say something, right? And then the other person reiterates what you said to show like, yeah, I understand. We usually just cut that out. But I would say usually by the end of every conversation, we cut out around 20 to 15 minutes of dialogue, and that's about it.
Do you have anything for footage? Like, for example, when you're talking about a certain thing, do you like to insert that footage into it, or do you just have straight gameplay and just let it play in the background?
I like to like edit it so that you can kind of tell what we're talking about. So I insert the footage, you know, I think if that's what you're asking.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because it depends. Like some people like to just let gameplay in the background and just talk about the game laissez-faire without showing what they're talking about. Some people do it because they don't want to spoiler, which is, we can talk about spoiler in a minute. Like I have very strong thoughts on spoilers.
I do too. I have kind of controversial thoughts, I think.
Maybe we have the same controversial. And some people are like, I especially people that like to bring their reviews like an hour after the game is out. They have like the first 15 minutes of the game recorded and just talk about the game. Which I noticed as well. Like you notice that with the new big releases like Doom, for example. Like after an hour of the game launches, you have already the reviews and like they're very, very minimalistic and don't talk much about the game. It's fine. Like how the fuck are you supposed to review a game that is 6 hours long? Like in a day? It's impossible for me. Like the intricacies of the gameplay alone, I would like need like. Most of the times I need like 5 minutes for the menu dissection alone. Like, and then, yeah, like 5 minutes is like, I think the longest I spent on a menu was like 7 minutes. And I was talking about the themes in the game. So I was talking about the game and the menu in collaboration. That would be the Honeycomb Studio game. Like I was talking about the game itself and the menus and how they represent each other and what it means to, and what the, I was trying to connect them both. But like for me, you probably remember Total Biscuit. And he was one of the guys that also did this port reviews. Like he looked at ports of consoles to PC, and then it did go like 10 minutes alone, only talking about menus. Like this is what they don't have, this is what they would need, this is why the game needs that, this is what they would like to add. Then his specs and the specs of his PC and which platform he's playing on. It's like, then people listen to that, and I think I listened to that because it was interesting to know like how much effort did the developers put in the outside of the game, because that can also be like an indicator of how much effort will be inside of the game. If the menu looks already shit, you can probably pretty much be sure that the game is also going to have some heavy segments that are not well polished. Yeah. But whatever. Menus, nobody cares about that.
No, I think that menus are really important, especially with PC gaming.
Yeah.
You know?
Consoles, not so much, but PC.
I mean, yeah. like we're kind of focused on a different thing with our channel. It's a little bit more of the subjective, like just what works for us kind of thing.
I think
But
you said something like review vlogs, which is interesting.
yeah,
I think that's perfect description for it. Review vlogs.
yeah, I would say so, because there are times when we get a little, I don't know, just kind of like personal sometimes, or we just kind of say how we interpreted the game, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think a lot of other critics do that.
Yeah. I think it depends on the critic, right? Like when it's like a professional critic is not gonna try to insert his personal opinion, which is dumb, which they shouldn't. I think they should insert a personal opinion. Like you're watching exactly because you want to know why how they think. That you want a little bit of personality. If it's just dry, it's gonna be hard to to get in the same wavelength. But yeah.
Well, I think video game criticism, or just criticism on of art, is just interesting in general, because most of the time when you're listening to a critic or reading their article or whatever, you're learning more about them than you are about the art itself.
Yeah, that's true. That's why I see like reviews on itself as an art form. Maybe people don't see it that way, but I see reviews themselves as an art form, a form of entertainment as well.
Yeah.
I
mean, that's why certain people are drawn to different critics, because they identify with those ones, you know?
Not to say that there aren't like ways to be more objective about stuff, about art. Of course, there's a technical, to games specifically, there's a technical part of it, like glitches. Clearly, it's a technical thing. If the game doesn't work, it doesn't work. Like there's no subjective part to it. When the colors are blinding everyone. Like there's those subjective part to it. Like if a color is blinding, they can barely see the screen. Like that, there are technical parts to a review, of course. But I think a lot of it is like subjective, especially when it comes to do I like it or do I not like it? Like if it looks childish, for example, someone might not like it and I might like it. So there's subjective part to reviews for me, and there's objective parts. Objective parts would be exactly something like technicals or menu. Like that would be an objective part of it.
Well, and maybe we could get into that. I mean, that's an interesting topic in and of itself. Because personally, I think that I think with reviews, it's like 98% subjective and like 2% objective. An example that I like to give out is, have you ever heard of the game Deadly Premonition?
Is it the photograph thing? You have to photograph a bunch of ghosts?
No. So Deadly Premonition is kind of like this Twin Peaks style game from Japan. It's very B-movie-esque, and a lot of the game just doesn't work. But it has this huge cult following, you know?
Oh, it is like the QuickTime event thing. Like
there is QuickTime events in it.
Oh, it's like a puzzle game.
That's not the main.
A third-person puzzle. You have to solve puzzles and solve mysteries and so on, right?
Kind of like that, yeah. I would say it's sort of like Resident Evil.
Yeah, I'm seeing right now.
Puzzles. Yeah.
I mean, if it doesn't,
people love that game.
Yeah, like that's okay. That's the thing, right? The Room. By any measurement, it's a bad movie. Like lighting is off all the times. They have two different camera qualities. Audio levels constantly are constantly not equal. The story makes absolute no sense when it comes to logic. So by any measurement, like be it subjective, be by any objective measurement, it's a bad movie. There's no discussion about that. And you can review that and show objectively it's a bad movie. Now, there are a lot of people that like The Room and think it's like the most ridiculous, hilarious thing in the world, and nothing even comes close to it. So yeah, subjectively, people can enjoy it immensely, but then it comes down to I like it. There's no reason why I like it, they just like it.
Well, I think so, but those objective reasons that you're talking about are the reasons why people like it, right?
Yeah.
So therefore, I don't even know if it's an objective question, really. That's kind of where I
I mean,
differ from most people.
It depends on how much emphasis you want to put on your review, right? I see my reviews as very subjective. Like it's purely my the stuff I want. Like I want this that way, but I also offer reasons why it is why I think that way. But there are also things that I think that are completely break the game. Then it's not my opinion. It's just like it does ultimately break the game. If I like it or not, that's a different question, which I always like to answer at the end. Like at the end, I show the reasons why I like it or I dislike a certain thing. But I think you can, if you just state if you like it or not, then it's kind of weird. You also, if in your reviews, you say why you like it or not. Because if you just say I like it, why do you like it? There must be a reason for it. And if you say
there's no discussion with that, you have to get into the nitty gritty.
Exactly.
And that's kind of, I think, to go back to what you were talking about with the spoilers, right? I think that's a big problem with game criticism and not being able to share spoilers, is that they can't get into that nitty grittiness of it.
Well, my position is spoilers are a stupid concept. They make absolute no sense. And everyone that thinks that spoilers mean anything is objectively wrong, because there are studies. No. There are studies that have been done in the past and also today that show if you know the ending of a story, it does not prevent you from having from enjoying the story. It actually increases the enjoyment.
Yeah, I've heard about those studies, and I think I would agree. I think it's kind of interesting seeing the shift in culture, because I remember when I was younger, spoilers, it wasn't a big deal at all. People just would talk about movies or whatever. And I feel like we could talk about media in a way that we're no longer allowed to.
Yeah, but I think it's a small minority. I think most people don't care about spoilers. There's this loud minority, basically, just screaming out, say, "Oh, you spoiled something!" Like, fuck off. I'm like, if you're watching a video about the game, right? I'm reviewing that game. Why do you expect there are no spoilers in that video?
Yeah.
How? Like, I'm talking about the game. I have to talk about certain things. I have to talk about the story. I have to talk about game mechanics. I have to talk about items that you can find in the game. I have to talk about maybe the history of the game. So why do you expect this video to not have spoilers? So for me, it's a nonsensical. This concept of spoilers is completely nonsensical to me. And I asked, this question, I actually asked on a subreddit, which I promptly got booted off from because it was apparently off topic. In the gaming subreddit, I asked, "Hey, can anyone provide a good argument?" And then, this is off topic. Fuck off. Reddit sucks dick sometimes. And then most arguments are come down to the first, you robbing someone of this first enjoyment, and then ask the follow-up question: why is this first enjoyment so important? Well,
I actually disagree with that too, because if the game or movie or book is written, or just if it's good enough, no matter what, you're going to still have that experience.
Yeah.
So, with the first BioShock, I knew about the spoiler there, and I was still shocked by it,
And if a game or movie or series is solely reliant on the thing that you don't know about, something that on the concept that you don't know something about the movie, so basically it can only get you if you don't know about the mystery, then it's a bad movie, game, or book for me, because then it only works once, and then you spoiled yourself, and then you can never enjoy this thing again. Not saying that you should be able to enjoy something several times, but if the game, movie, or whatever only works just once, then for me it's like completely failed on every level.
Yeah, I think that you're right with that, because best things are better with multiple experiences of it, right? So
Memento, for example.
Yeah,
one of the great movies by Christopher Nolan. Like, I knew already what happened, but I was like, oh, this gets better. Or Fight Club. Like, Fight Club, Memento, like, if you know how it ends, it gets even better. So it's not worse, it gets better every time you see it. Because you can notice more intricacies. Like, the first viewing, nobody gives a fuck about that. Nobody will even remember about the first viewing. The second viewing, the third viewing, they will remember, oh yeah, that makes sense. Like, all the intricacies in the movies. Like, I think
Yeah.
there's too much of emphasis on this spoiler, and honestly, like I get that as well. If you go out of your way to spoil someone, like so nobody asked for it. If you go out of the way to spoil someone, then you're kind of a dick.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like, yeah, if you get spoiled, like, who the fuck cares? Honestly.
Well, yeah, just don't be an asshole about it, But it's to the point where like you can't go in your everyday lives and like just talk to people about things. Without somebody being like, "Oh, I haven't seen it yet," and running outside the room or something. Yeah. It's so ridiculous. I don't understand it. I know that I was looking at Twitter a couple days ago, and some kid was bitching that, spoiler, Aerith dies in Final Fantasy VII, and this kid didn't know that. The game is fucking 20 years old.
Yeah. Okay, so that's the next thing, right? I also asked what is the time frame of spoilers, right? When does a spoiler goes out? And the answers ranged from 1 week to never. So
how are we supposed to talk about anything?
So it's pretty like to show you that spoilers are a completely ridiculous concept. The people can't even figure out how long a spoiler can be hold or not. Like someone said it's 1 week, other one said forever. Like what? It makes no sense.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know, man. It's kind of interesting. I mean, my opinion with any kind of art, sure, the art itself is really fun, but the dialogue after is what shows how good that art is and just how much we enjoy it, right? And if we can't have spoilers, then we can't have dialogue.
Yep.
So then what is the point of even having all of this entertainment?
Funny thing is that Jim Sterling made a video about it, spoilers, and how much it's weaponized, basically. Because if the consumer doesn't know what the movie or the book or the game is going to be, because you can't spoil it in this non-spoiler culture, then people are gonna run against a wall. And when and then they realize, oh, this was shit. And if someone could spoil me, then they probably could have saved me some bucks. Especially going to movies, like probably a lot of people wouldn't have seen something like Endgame, because that movie was it has probably the best emotional payoff, but in generally speaking, it's not the best movie ever. Like it's inferior to Infinity War. So
yeah,
it's like, yeah, if probably a lot of people wouldn't have watched that, but because of this, I always spoil myself. I don't give a shit. Like every major, if I want to go see a movie, I watch a review, I watch a spoiler review, I watch, okay, this is how it's gonna end. Like, okay, I'm fine, I'm gonna watch it. I don't give a shit. Like I always spoil myself because I don't see a purpose in having this mystical first experience that you can only have if you don't know how the movie or book is or game is gonna end. Nobody gives a shit.
Yeah.
Like everyone, like someone, you play something like Resident Evil. Who gives a fuck how it ends? It isn't the gameplay the thing that is going to catch you. Like, isn't the gameplay the most important part? Sure, the story makes a little bit, like, it's important as well, but like, why? Why is it so important to not know how the game ends?
Yeah. Well, and it's totally just on how that story is delivered too.
Yeah.
So I don't understand it either. It's something that I'm happy that you brought up because I've actually been wanting to talk about it, but not on my channel.
No spoilers. I'm pretty off the cuff here. Like I will curse and I will call some shit out. I might also be wrong. I might be a fucking dumbass and be all wrong all the time. But that's the nature of humans. Humans are all wrong a lot. Like I did mistakes in the past. Like I think everyone does mistakes. I think in your own reviews you might get something wrong or not just simply not understand something because you know you didn't get it. That happens. Or sometimes you're just bad at the game and that's it.
Yeah. Well, one for example is like the Red Dead review. Sometimes I worry about that one because the game is so huge that I'm like, maybe I was wrong. Maybe this game is awesome.
Yeah.
and I just overlooked it. Maybe I played it wrong. But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter because I just see my review as my experience, not necessarily me trying to push an objective opinion onto everyone else. You know.
So. And you support your arguments or whatever your position with the examples you have. So it's not completely unfounded. Can they be objectively wrong? Yeah, maybe. It's probably my arguments are sometimes just wrong as well. I think that's fine. But that's like the point. Like if we do not strive for objectivity, if we did strive for objectivity, then I would worry. Then I'd say, oh, maybe I should think about this twice. But we don't. So yeah, I think that's fine. But I want to talk about Red Dead Redemption because I didn't play the game, but I know these types of games. So here's the thing. A lot of people loved it, praised it to no end. And I'm sitting here, I'm like, there's a lot of people praise it because it looks great. And the first thing I'd like to do when I look at the game, I like to take away the graphics. Especially, I like to, on my own computer, I like to put the graphics to lowest settings possible. Because then you don't look at that. It's not blinding you. Because it blinds me basically to what the game actually is. And once you do that, you start to realize certain things like, oh, this animation takes too long. Oh, this is annoying and doesn't do anything for my gameplay. Oh, this is too long. This goes on for too long, and so on. So, in Red Dead Redemption, from what I've seen, looks like one of those games that has a lot of moving parts and it's gigantic. But if it would be cut down to more linear and just focus on the story, first of all, a lot of people wouldn't have had to crunch. A lot of developers would have less to work. It would be a more focused experience, and probably people would have enjoyed more. Because do you really need to see someone like realistically skinning a fucking animal, and that's 20 to 40 to 50 times? Do you really need that? That's like questionable. Like there are certain people that love this. Like, do you really need that to be a good game? And that's like, but I think that the graphics and what is around the game, like this gigantic world, blinds the people to what the game is. If it was sold itself as a simulation, I would say, okay, yeah, it's pretty good. As a game to be entertained by, I find it questionable.
Well, that was kind of what I was excited about. Was I was hearing that it was really slow because I'm okay with simulations.
Yeah,
I kind of like that, and then I play it, and it's kind of this really, in my opinion, really confused game that doesn't quite know what it's trying to do. And in my opinion, like you were bringing up, like the really good graphics, right?
Yeah.
And then this emotional, quote unquote, story. I think that it's what I like to call like critic bait.
Yeah.
You know, where it's like, we got to have the main character or the main character's daughter or something die by the end of the game. And we have to have these really good graphics, and we have to pretend to be like bigger than a video game. Like we're trying to tell some kind of thing that reflects the world or something. And then critics just go, they masturbate all over it and give it a 10 out of 10.
Oh, it's so good.
Yeah, exactly. Oh my God, it says so much about the human experience.
We live in a society.
Like, exactly. And the funniest part is, ironically, is when you're not trying to say things about the human experience is when you end up doing it.
Yeah.
So. But that's my problem with Red Dead.
Or when you try to bring a problem down to pixels, basically, which is something like Papers, Please. Papers, Please is like, it's a horrible game. Like, not in a horrible sense of it's a bad game. It's like it will make you feel weird or bad about yourself because you're basically denying people that need your help into a country. So you're basically this worker that works on the entry of a country, and then you have to pass them or not pass through. So you will have like it, but the graphics doesn't blind you because it's all about the stories, the human stories, and how awful our government can be, and how like you are just a cog in the machine and you can do jack shit. Basically, you have to do your job or your family's gonna die.
Oh my gosh.
So yeah, it's kind of like, yeah, it doesn't blind you with graphics, but you know, you haven't seen 10 out of 10 of that game or such much media coverage. But that's fine. It's fine. Indie games don't receive that much because, you know, we all know reviews are basically bought by big companies. Whatever. But yeah, like, I don't know, like the one thing about Red Dead Redemption is also the thing that there's so many people working on it that nobody really knows, like probably the end, how it would end. So the story sometimes will have plot holes, not because nobody thought about it, because the gameplay won't allow it, or because the writers didn't work together with the level designers or whatever. So something like, it will happen, like I'm playing Tomb Raider right now, the last one, Shadow of the Tomb Raider. And suddenly you realize, oh, where are my weapons? And like, oh, yeah, the level designer said this will be a stealth mission, so all your weapons are gone, even though you had it a minute before. And it couldn't be that you lost it. Like, you didn't lose it, just the game just decided, yeah, you lost it. It makes no sense, but you lost it. So yeah.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying, because like it seems like sometimes with these AAA games they have these like checklists of things that need to be in it, which then conflict with something else in the game, right?
The story, for example.
Yeah, so an example once again is Red Dead Redemption, because that's just the one that I've played recently that was like this. Arthur is supposed to be this really in-depth character, but at the same time, you can change him so much just using his beard or the way his hair looks, meaning that they wanted to have this like character that you can customize, but and just, you know, be like a vessel for who you are, but at the same time have this, I don't know, four-dimensional character that has all these weighty emotions.
Yeah.
Those two ideas just don't work together ever.
Yeah.
You know, so I totally get what you're saying.
That's why I say, like, probably Red Dead Redemption would be a more fun experience if it was more linear. I think people should... A lot of people shit on linear games, but I think if we could figure out how to do more linear games, people would like it more. Because, sure, like something like a shooter is going to be very difficult to do completely linear. You have to have a little bit of running around and having arenas that are not completely boring. But things that are focused on story should be a little bit more linear. And the gameplay should be represented in the story as well. Like, one thing that I hate is, like, you shoot someone 10 times in the head, and in the cutscene, they have barely a scratch. I hate this so much. I hate it so much. Figure a way out how to do it properly, or don't do it. Because it annoys me to no end. There's such a big discrepancy between what happens in the gameplay and what happens in the story. So either don't do cutscenes, or figure a way out to do it differently.
Have you ever played any of the Metal Gear games?
No, I think the first one, probably.
The first one?
Yeah.
I want to say the third one, they kind of can... Something that I actually like about Kojima, and I know a lot of people shit on him because he's a little bit pretentious.
Me included.
But...
Me included. I include myself in
I mean... He does some things that I'm like, okay, all right, buddy. But when he's willing to not take himself too seriously is when I really like him. Like with Metal Gear Solid 3, you play as a character that was before the original Metal Gear, right?
Yeah.
And so whenever you do something that like contradicts the story of the first Metal Gear, it throws you into a screen that says that you've just hit a time paradox and stuff like that. And I enjoy it when games are allowed to have a little bit of fun.
Yeah.
And I don't think that really ruins the immersion either. I just think that
that stuff that Kojima did increases the immersion because, there's an explanation why I can die 20 times and basically the next game works fine.
Yep, exactly.
I like it when there's a reason why you can die and still come back. Yeah,
I do too. I really enjoy that. One game that I really enjoyed recently was Katana Zero because they had a great reason for you dying and coming back over and over again. It was awesome.
Yeah, I love it. Like one of the games that I would consider myself a veteran in that game, Ubermosh. They have 8 games right now, Ubermosh 8, and the reason why they can come back is basically there's this colony, like a space colony, and they have respawn technology. Basically, they can extract you from a place and then rebuild you as a clone, basically, and they can just send you back into this arena, basically, where you have to kill everyone. That's it. Like it's just one line in this in the whole game, in one game, and it's explained why you can respawn constantly. That's it.
Yeah, it's the story and the gameplay working hand in hand.
Yeah,
and it's a beautiful thing when that happens.
And in those AAA games, it's always treated as water and oil. It's like the one does mix with the other. Like, no. And I get that, because I think how they are developed is gameplay is king, so gameplay goes first, and then at the end, towards the end, when the gameplay is completely done, then the story team is brought on and have to explain how you get from level 1 to B, from B to C, and so on. So yeah, the story team is always second rank, but in reality, that's why indie games work so well. In reality, if you have to work since the beginning, the gameplay team and the story team has to work together all the times to also figure out what abilities can the player character have, what should they not have, what can they do, what can they not do, when should they lose an ability or gain an ability. So story team and gameplay teams should always work together. And in indie games, you have that because there's almost one person or two-person team, so they can work together on the story as well as the gameplay at the same time. So that's why we'll find those experiences that are coherent more in indie games than in AAA games.
Yeah.
That's why I like indie games. One of the reasons I like it so much.
Yeah, I think indie games are what's going to be really innovating from now on.
Yeah. Know? I haven't seen Ubermosh, I haven't seen Undertale done by AAA development studio. Like the gameplay. No. And it was basically the gameplay style. I haven't seen that.
Yeah. Well, it's because AAA developers they have so much money that it's scary to do anything new, you know?
Yeah.
Which I don't understand that. It's similar to the movie industry now.
Yeah.
Where like these big companies make huge movies or video games, and they're just afraid to do anything with them other than give the same thing over and over again because they know that that's what works. And I'm not saying that all AAA games or all big movies are bad.
No. Yeah.
It's just they're very formulaic at this point, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at all the releases for Disney movies. So for 2019, so we have Captain Marvel, Dumbo, Penguins, Avenger Endgame, Aladdin, Dark Phoenix, Toy Story 4, Spider-Man Far From Home, Lion King, The New Mutants, which was cancelled, Artemis Fowl, Frozen 2, and Star Wars Episode 9. So out of all of those, most of them are either remakes or real life IRL remakes, sequels, prequels, or established or already part of an established brand. So so it's like why not
stagnation?
Yeah, you have so much money. Why not take a small idea and develop that with a small team, so you don't have put your eggs in a bunch of baskets instead of putting in one big basket.
Yeah,
I don't get it.
I agree.
But I think it's the amount of money you can make, right? You can make much more money with an established brand than with a new brand that you have to market and so on.
Yeah, probably.
There will definitely be a Red Dead Redemption 3, and there will be definitely a GTA 6. Or 100%. There will be another Call of Duty. There will be another whatever, insert big brand name here. Those games will probably never die.
They'll always thrive.
Yeah. Because
that's not a bad thing. I'm happy people enjoy them.
Yeah.
It's just
it's just
as a critic, I want to see new experiences.
Yeah, exactly. I think we as critics or reviewers, we have a little bit of a different perspective because we play a lot of games. So we don't want to play Call of Duty number 205. But the person that only plays one game a year, basically, they are fine if they buy the next year Call of Duty 900. It's fine for them because they play only one game a year, so it's fine for them. And we play a lot of games, so we played Call of Duty 1 to 900, so we don't want to see that anymore. It's fine. We saw everything. Everything that comes afterwards will look the same. There will be nothing new to discover. Even the stories are going to be the same. Yeah.
Exactly. It's kind of funny.
Yeah.
But yeah.
A little bit of a bias.
We're a little biased. Yeah. Everybody is, though, so.
We're biased for new shit. We want new stuff. We don't want to see XY game that has been done before again. But I get it, okay?
I don't even care if it's flawed.
Yeah.
Just give me something new.
Yeah. Just give me a new experience, boy. Just go.
Yeah.
I mean, one of my goals in life is also to to make a publishing company, like indie games publishing company, where I can pick up those extremely weird games that nobody hears about. Because one of the things I always say, the game itself is not gonna sell itself. Marketing will, and you can see that in any possible game. Even Valorant right now, people say, "Oh, it's not being marketed. It's gonna grow on its own." Like, shut the fuck up. People are getting like drops on stream. So Valorant is constantly being on Twitch #1 viewed because you're getting drops on stream, and then why other people don't even know that Valorant exists, are gonna look on Twitch and see, oh, Valorant is a game. Let's look at it and look at that. So of course it's marketing. It's not a typical marketing, but it's marketing, and I'm sure people are getting paid to play the game. Let's not lie to ourselves. Like companies play streamers to play their games.
Yeah.
So yeah, like
it's true.
It's not a typical marketing of throw every cent you have on the wall and see what sticks. It's more like concentrated marketing, but still marketing.
Mm-hmm. Find that streamer that does that niche, right? And then just give it to them. Yeah,
basically, yeah. Like if when I talk to indie developers, I say, and if they ask me, I'm like, find a streamer, find a YouTuber, give them the game for free. That's like the loss you will get from that, from the game you send to them, will probably offset in the long run.
Yeah, especially if you're really confident in your product.
Yeah.
Like if you have some goofy game like Goat Simulator.
Yeah.
Just send it to a big YouTuber.
Yep.
For free.
I mean,
you're gonna make a ton of money.
Goat Simulator was only successful because probably Jacksepticeye and PewDiePie and Markiplier played it. Otherwise, it would have been dead on its tracks.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the sad truth about it. Like, it's not a bad game. It's clearly bait. It's clearly a bait game. I call them stream baiting games. There are a bunch of those on Steam. Some of them are really good, like Goat Simulator and I Am Bread, good examples. But then you have something like Who Is Your Daddy, which is by any measurement, like, it's a bad game. Like, no, stop. Like, no, no one should play that. But still, one of the best sold games in 2019. The guy that made the game probably very happy that that streamer and a few YouTubers played it. Good on him.
Yeah.
But he did a good job. Made the perfect stream baiting game, and people streamed it and filmed it and put it on YouTube.
Yeah, I'm happy whenever anybody is successful. Really, so it is.
I still don't like it.
I'm happy.
I don't like it still.
But yeah.
But like my fight against, like, it's not a fight, but like I think early access could have a good. It could be a good program, but since Steam has no interest in any control, and since there's a lot of shit on it, it becomes very difficult for me to say, oh yeah, trust in early access titles. There's no problem if you buy into them. It becomes very difficult for me to say, yeah, just invest into early access titles. It's gonna definitely be finished.
Yeah, early access is like always a gamble. I don't quite actually know how I feel about it. Sometimes it turns out really good, but that's in my opinion probably the minority.
1 out of 1,000, something like that.
Yeah, exactly. It's
0.1%.
Fortunately, that's the case, which sucks because I think early access is, I mean, technically like Minecraft was early access.
Yeah.
You know, so you could have like really cool big budget games that can go against like huge AAA games if early access actually was implemented correctly. But you always have those people that want to take advantage of the system.
Yeah, that's why I need a little bit of quality assurance. But it seems like the company that does that has no interest in any quality assurance. But I mean, like at this point, like what do you want to do? Like Steam seems to be like one of these platforms that I want to at some point have all my games done on Steam and then don't buy it from them anymore, because I think it's like, yeah. I'd rather buy from itch.io, which the developer receives all the money, or from GOG, which they treat the developers better.
They do.
Yeah, they do. Like Steam has I talked to a lot of developers, so I know there's a little bit. So Steam takes flat 30% from your game. Doesn't matter. Like especially if you're indie game takes flat 30% from what you earn. And then on top of that, if you have a publisher, they probably take another 30%. So you end up with 40%.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
It's terrible.
Yeah, it's completely terrible. The weird thing is big companies can deal with Steam and say, yeah, no, we're just gonna pay 20%. Otherwise you're gonna put it on, like, shouldn't it be the exact same, the exact other way? Like small companies can say, oh, let's just pay 10%, and big companies pay more. But no, it's the other way around. Like if you can throw your weight around, you're gonna get a better rate. If you can't, you just play 30% flat, which is stupid.
That's ass backwards.
Yeah,
doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. But Steam is very automated. You know, like everything is automated. You can hardly get anyone to talk to you on the line when it comes to problems. Like everything is straight automation.
Isn't their support system like 12 people or something?
I think it's less than 12 people, but it might be something like 12 people, yeah.
Okay.
Like, how do you, like, it's a global company. Like, you know, like, there's so many users, like billions? Yeah, probably billions of users. And you have 12 people in support. Everything else is automated. Yeah.
It's insane.
And the thing is, most people don't know that. There's, like, Steam, which the West gets. Germany has its own Steam as well, but like most European countries have their own Steam platforms basically, and then they have a little bit of support in their own language, like 2 or 3 people, and then you have global. But the thing is, even for this global company, they don't work really together. I think they all work virtualized, so they don't really talk to each other. It's so weird how this gigantic company is built, you know. Like, you would imagine, like, a gigantic company like Steam would have, like, a better structure, but it seems like it's not. It's like, it's like a weird construct. I'm still trying to figure out how it works, but it's like, yeah, it's difficult to know.
As a business owner, sounds like the perfect company.
Yeah, perfect.
Probably making tons of money, you know.
But that's the weird thing. They are making tons of money. Like, that's the thing. They are making tons of money. And when the whole Epic versus Steam war started, I'm like, Steam is not going to do anything. Like, and everyone is saying, oh, Steam should do something. Steam should do something. Like, I'm like, Steam's not going to do shit. Like, what does Epic want to do?
They don't have to.
Yeah, what does Epic want to do? Like, come to the same player base? Like, Steam has such a gigantic account base that it's not even possible to come to close to them. And for sure, Epic was doing some morally abhorrent stuff, but it's like, yeah, that's how capitalism works, boys. You have to force your way into the market, otherwise you're not gonna get anything. And Epic got like a few users now, but not hearing much. Like, it seems that they're making losses on their investment, but it doesn't matter for them because it's about getting a piece of the pie. It doesn't matter. Like, they can lose for the next few years, and nothing else gonna happen because Epic is a 100% daughter of Tencent. That's why I don't use Epic, because I fear for my personal safety.
So
the Chinese government is gonna steal my data.
Yeah. So you brought up Tencent, right?
Yeah.
And before this show, you actually brought him up to me again, and I didn't know much about it, but I guess Riot Games
Yeah,
somewhat owned by Tencent.
So Riot Games, I don't know how many companies are owned by Tencent, but generally speaking, it's the biggest Chinese tech conglomerate in the world. It's bigger than any Western tech company. It's bigger than Apple. It's bigger than Amazon. It's bigger than eBay. It's bigger than Facebook. It's bigger than Google. It's bigger than anything else. And it owns many tech companies that we have in the West, like Riot Games, especially games companies. Riot Games, but also Epic is 100% owned by Tencent. So they have a direct line to the Chinese government. And as we all know, doesn't matter if you're a private company in China, you are a public company. It doesn't matter. You have to adhere to Chinese law. Blizzard, for example, is also partially owned by, or Activision Blizzard is partially owned by Tencent. So yeah, you have all this kind of stuff. The problem is
Tencent. Yeah, Tencent just scares the shit out of me.
Yeah, it scares the shit out of me as well. I'm not trying to fearmonger here, but it's like, yeah, do you want? Sure, we have in the West we have all these organizations that spy on us. But frankly speaking, you don't hear from that you get in the middle of the night. Someone just vanishes and never to be found again. It's very rare that happens. But in China, that's something that can happen to you. Like suddenly you're sleeping and then the other day you were in fucking gulag. So, yeah. And if the big tech company can basically spy on your personal stuff, that can be very scary. And the thing with Valorant, they're using anti-cheat, and it goes and it installs into your kernel 0, which is basically the highest degree of the authorization that you can get on your computer. Most programs use, like, I think Ring 3, which is basically just user stuff, just UI stuff, right? And that's quite scary because that program starts when your computer starts, and like, why does a entertainment product need that high of an authorization? There's no need for that. No reason whatsoever. Except if you think about it, like, oh, they're owned by Tencent. Oh, and the Chinese government is behind it. Maybe they have an interest in data that they can collect. And people say, oh, they don't need to worry about it. Of course you need to worry about it. It's a Chinese company that is constantly trying to undermine everything we do here. So maybe you should worry about it.
Well,
even though it's a entertainment product.
The other thing too is that eventually your entertainment is going to start changing.
Yeah.
Because of that. China has very different morality than the West does. And we see it within the movie industry all the time. There's certain franchises that just survive because of the Chinese market.
Yep.
And that's why our movies are changing slowly.
Yep.
Is because China doesn't like certain things that the West stands
No blood,
for.
No boobs, no naked, no skulls, no death.
Yeah. And I mean, and everybody likes tits.
Yeah.
So we got to fight for it. Fight for the tits, guys.
Fight for the tits.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you have to think that's the biggest market in the world. It will make the most amount of money there.
It's true. Yeah, it's kind of grim looking, but I don't know.
China sucks.
See what happens.
China sucks.
Yeah, fuck China.
But like in my videos, I've been made several slight jabs against China and how much they suck. And a lot of people think that like this is unwarranted. And not talking about against the Chinese people. The Chinese people are mostly fine. They're fine. Not the population. Yeah. The government, the institution. It's like when I talk about a religion, I'm talking about the institution of religion is shit. I don't like it. The same thing goes for China. I don't like the institution of China, like the government. I'm not talking about the people. Even though I have to say, out of my own experience and from hearing from people that are experienced in China, a lot of Chinese people are very fucking racist. So yeah. So yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know anything about the specific Chinese people, but I do know that I just don't want them controlling my entertainment. That's about it.
Yeah, that would be fine, right? Like if yeah, I mean, we see that with like it wasn't like the Warhammer, not Warhammer, Warcraft movie, like specifically made for the Chinese audience, and everyone hated it over there.
Yeah.
because it had magic, and
Yeah,
they all kind of hate magic, necromancy, and some stuff like that.
Yeah, I think I know that's how that movie survived, was just off of the Chinese market.
Oh, it was because of them. Okay.
A big one is Transformers.
Yeah.
Dude, that's huge in China.
Yep. Giant robots. Who doesn't like giant robots?
Apparently me. But that's because I'm a critic and I'm annoying. So
I mean, I'm sure you would like giant robots if they weren't just plain toy commercials, but okay.
Yeah.
It's similar.
Yeah, I like Pacific Rim.
Yeah, so. The first one.
Oh, the first one. I haven't seen the other ones.
Okay. There's the second one.
Oh, is it bad?
I wouldn't say anything.
Okay.
I could spoil everything, but no.
Oh, yeah, spoilers.
Yeah.
This is a spoiler-free zone, boys.
No, right? I love John Boyega. John Boyega is like one of the best actors, but he's putting so shitty like characters. Like they don't use his fucking character well. He's a great actor, but they put him shitty characters. I hate this. Especially in Star Wars. Like, why? Why do you put them into the Finn character? Oh yeah, that was the thing. But that shows like you said it changed. China is changing the way we are watching movies because it's basically made for them. If you know about this, but the Chinese poster of Star Wars, Finn is small. Like it's
really
compared to the other guys. Why? Because China doesn't like black people.
That's fucked up.
That's really fucked up. And nobody I'm sitting here like, why has nobody talked about this? Like everyone talks about how Star Wars fan drove the Asian actress, which by the way she's actually pretty good, to the platform, but nobody's talking about how China is basically forcing companies to make black people small in their posters because they don't like black people.
Yeah,
like nobody talks about that.
It's mainly because of just how big China's
influence is.
You know, how much of a grip they have around the world.
Yeah.
So I mean, I think things are changing. I think that these issues are becoming more aware and people are becoming more vocal about it.
Yeah.
And I think that's a good thing because once companies see that, then eventually they'll be like, okay, we don't want to lose our other markets, you know?
I don't know, man. I think a lot of people get used to it. Like people get used to watch stuff that is made for China, but they don't realize it anymore because it's like so neutered down. Like you said, there are no I haven't given up on going to the movies or going to the cinema anymore because in Germany the problem is we don't have like good local cinema. We don't have much. We don't like Parasite never ran in my local theater. I'm like, what the fuck? It's because it's a Korean movie. So yeah, I don't know. I stopped going to the movies.
I actually disagree with you because I think the theater industry is dying because of that. Personally, people don't want to pay that much money to see a shitty movie. You know?
Plus the overpriced
They'd rather
food.
Just sit Yep, exactly. So I think that eventually the market will catch up. I think that it will go, okay, we don't want to watch this stuff anymore. But who knows? I don't really know. We'll see.
It's so weird. It's so difficult to predict the future, right? Like, that's always my point. Economy is not a science. It's a art form because nobody can actually predict how the economy will work out. Nobody can predict that, and it's so weird because the one person that could predict that, they would probably win a Nobel Prize. They're like, we praise you as our god. How the fuck do you understand this thing? Because at that point, like, you can make all the money you want of the world. I think he wouldn't even win. Like, go and publish what he knows. He would just make as much money as he wants because he can predict the economy. But yeah, predicting where things are going is so difficult. Sure, you can make like assumptions based on your past experience, but you know. Will there be another Call of Duty?
Yeah.
Yes, probably. This is not I'm I'm not telling the future here. It's like out of experience, yes, and there is probably information on how the next Call of Duty is already being developed. So it's not a big, it's not a big jump.
Yeah, we know that that's the case. I'm just saying, hopefully things change. I wouldn't be surprised if they do. I mean, things are changing right now. Tomorrow, some crazy thing could happen and totally change the way we do global economics, right?
Yep.
So who knows? We'll see.
Do you want cinema to die? I want cinemas to die. I don't think they're that much useful anymore. Maybe local cinemas shouldn't die, where you have the small, very select few that go there, but maybe the big ones.
It's difficult because, as someone who loves movies, I have kind of a connection to going to the theater, having my popcorn. But at the same time, I'm tired of sitting next to gross people and paying $50 to do it. So,
Is it so bad in America? Like, I never have, like, maybe I'm going to, like, even in big cinemas here in Germany, like, I never got that problem that I like this bad experiences where everybody's talking. Like, never got that.
Never? Oh man, that's crazy. Cause if someone is like really loud, you can be sure, like in the next 5 minutes, like a guard will come around and it's like, shut the fuck up. And the second time they don't shut the fuck up, they get kicked out. It's pretty much any movie. Well, not every movie I've went to, but a lot of movies I've went to. There's so many rude people just constantly talking. And then, oh my God, why do they have candy in cinemas? Okay? like they just like, it's so god awful. I'm trying to watch a fucking movie and someone is like, they're like trying to be nice by opening it as slowly as possible as they can, but it makes it worse. I hate it.
Just make a candy bowl, instead of a candy wrapper. It's fine, and then there's no sound. It's like the popcorn bowl.
There we go.
There's a reason. There's a reason why it's the popcorn bowl instead of a popcorn paper bag, because this makes as much sound.
Candy bowl. You need to open your own cinema, dude. You'll make it big. The candy bowl.
Candy bowl, yeah. But I get that nowadays they don't make much money with the movies. They make more money with the food they sell. That's why it's so fucking overpriced. But like, if you're not making the money with your main attraction, then there's something wrong with your fucking business, right? Like, imagine me driving a car, and my job is a driver, and I don't earn enough money with driving, but I have to earn money with merch selling. I'm like, that's the same weird thing I find about like YouTube sometimes. It seems that most YouTubers don't survive on their main attraction, which is the videos. They survive on Patreon or merch or whatever, and which is weird to me. Like, you don't earn enough money with your main attraction. That's kind of weird.
That is kind of weird, but I actually, if I was to ever make money, which I'm not, I don't know. If I ever was, though, I would like to make it off of like merch or Patreon or something. No, instead of being beholden to YouTube.
Yeah, I'm the same. I'm the same. I'm just saying it's a weird concept, right? That you're not making money with the thing that you're doing primarily.
Oh, okay, yeah. I understand.
It's a weird concept.
It is kind of strange. It's a roundabout way.
Yeah.
Right?
Like, for me, it's the same. Like, my goal is basically having 1,000 Patreons that can give me $10 a month. With that, I'm settled for a year at least, right? Because that would what most people earn. Of course, Germany 50% fucking taxes, so 50,000 away, but that's fine. I still have enough money to live off. And that would be my goal. If I have that, I'm gonna quit my job and start do YouTube full time. But that's like so far away from me. Like, it could be tomorrow, sure. If tomorrow, like, a bigger YouTuber discovers me and it suddenly get many people flooding your channel, like, it happens. One of the things I want to ask you, like, I hear a lot of this natural growth and organic growth and stuff like that. And I'm pretty opposed to that idea. I think that's not true. Nobody grows organically. It always has to do with someone discovers you, and then you get the spotlight, and after that you get the ball rolling if you can entertain people. Like, what is your stance, or what do you think about this?
What do I think? Well, I think somebody bigger finding you is a part of the organic growth.
Oh, that's kind of okay.
What I think. I mean, I think it would be incredibly hard, and it is incredibly hard, talking from firsthand experience, that to make your own niche, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I think if you play your cards right, you can be seen by the right people. One thing that we did that I'm really thankful for is we actually don't focus on YouTube as much as we do on other
BitChute and like, library.
Yeah. And the reason I did that is because it's a smaller pool of people.
Yeah.
Right? So, I don't know. Maybe someone bigger on BitChute will see our videos.
Because I don't like this idea of, oh, you can just keep going and someday it's gonna happen. No, I don't think so. I think you have to actively work towards it, and maybe even sometimes pester people and force them to watch your videos. And maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm the only one on this one, but I don't know. Like, so trying to do everything solo and trying to, figure out everything on your own is kind of. I don't think it works. I see that on my channel as well. Like, I'm pretty calm right now because my goal is to have 100 videos, make 100 videos. That's my goal. I'm not to have a view or a sub goal. I want to have 100 videos, and then right now I feel pretty confident in my ability to make videos. And the second goal is have one video a week, which I did for almost a year, or almost 1.5 years. So if I can make 100 videos, have one video a week, every week, then I'm pretty confident I can do something, and then I would heavily market my stuff. Like, really pester people to watch my stuff. Because it seems like that's the way. Like, it seems like there's no other way to do it. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm looking at it from the wrong side, but it seems like it.
No, I think you're right with the pestering people. If you listen to, like, okay, for example, big streamers, right? I was listening to somebody talk about Pokimane, who is this really cute girl that people, she's really cute. But behind the scenes, everybody says she's
a fucking brutal businesswoman. Holy shit.
That's how you need to be. You got to be business. You gotta be like, okay, watch my shit. I am the shit. This is good stuff.
Yeah.
Come check me out, right? Otherwise, you're gonna flounder.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that reminds me of the whole Call Me Carson's girlfriend, Katerino. We're not talking about the drama. We can talk about it, but I don't know.
I don't want to. I've heard something about Five Guys.
But yeah, we can talk about it later. But before she started dating Carson, she was nobody.
Mm-hmm.
But she got lucky, pushed way through, got with Carson, and got the viewership. So
yeah,
sure, it might be not the morally sound way to go through things, but that's a way to do it.
Yeah.
And
I'm not saying to be immoral, but you got to be kind of pushy.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, exactly. And like, for me, it's like when I reach those 100 videos, I'm pretty sure I'm pretty sure I'm gonna be very confident in my ability to make videos the way I want them, and I have a lot of tools in my tool basket right now that I can use to make videos entertaining. A little bit in scripting, pronunciation got a lot better compared to my first video. Of course, I have to improve a lot more, but like after that, I'm pretty sure of that, and then I can basically push people to watch my stuff because I'm pretty sure it's good, or I can tackle bigger project, whatever. And the brutal businesswoman, I said, like, Pokimane is a brutal businesswoman. If you like see beyond her cutesy persona and watch, like, I like to look behind a lot of people, streamer and YouTubers. The shit you hear about her and the shit you read about her is like, oh wow, this is a good business person. They are ruthless when it comes to business. But yeah, like I like her business side. I don't like her content that much, but the business side is like, oh god, it's great.
It's admirable.
It's ruthless, of course. It's like she will eat you alive if you step out of line. But like, ooh. But the Katerino thing. One last thing. So I wasn't very versed. Like, but I wanted to know, like, what the fuck is happening? Like, I hear this name here and there. What the fuck is happening? So Katerina, she had a boyfriend and got involved with Call Me Carson, which is one of the nicest person on earth, or on YouTube at least his persona. And then she hooked up with the best friend of Carson, called Fitz, which is the part of the Misfits podcast.
Okay.
So 3 people. That would be three people. So Katerina's boyfriend, Call Me Carson, Fitz. And then a few days later, I Will Dominate, which is a League of Legends streamer. He came out and said, I didn't know about all of that, but apparently she was also together with me, but I didn't know about all of them. And then XQC, which is another streamer, played a lot of Overwatch, came out and said, well, you see, guys, there's this guy, their boyfriend. Then there is, which he knows. Then there is Call Me Carson. Then there's Fitz. Then there's All Will Dominate. But we also saw her with another guy on a party. So there's actually 5 people.
Right. Well, I have a confession to make. No, I'm just kidding.
Red, what the fuck?
She was with me. No. 7 people.
7
no.
And then, of course, after the 5th person, a lot of people started like completely shitting on her and say, "Yeah, I'm sorry, I have to confession make. I was the 8th one." And then the next one comes around and says, "Oh, I was the 45th one. I'm sorry." Yeah, and then she came around and she made an apology and said, "Yeah, I was in a dark place and I was disassociating." Which, by the way, I watch a channel called DID, which is this dissociative identity disorder, is an actual illness. And when you disassociate, have you ever drove in a car and then suddenly you arrive at the place you wanted to go without like, where the fuck time to go? This is disassociation. Like your body, you subconscious state just takes over, and that what she described has nothing to do with disassociation. You actively chose to sleep with 5 different people. It has nothing to do with disassociating. It's more like a liar. It's more like a pathological liar than anything else.
I don't know much about it, but it sounds funny. I'm happy people are entertained.
Yeah, I was entertained. I'm thinking about like, man, dude, if a man did that, he would be even in worse shape. His career would be fucking dead.
Yeah.
Like he would be dead on the streets. Everyone would beat him up. Especially if this happened with like 5 cutesy girls that have a gigantic white army behind them. He would be dead forever, like burned forever.
Yeah.
The thing is, Katerina
tried to do that.
She will come back. She will come back. So there's no problem. Like she has enough people that can support her. Yeah,
probably. Oh man, that's great.
I love when the internet like diverts their energy towards pointing out a person that is clearly not great. I hate it when the internet.
I don't know, but I really do. I don't know. I'm starting to think we should just start locking everybody in their houses once a year, just so all this drama can come out. like the iDub shit and that. It's so entertaining. You know, I don't have a stance morally on any of this. I just like watching people.
It's called Schadenfreude. It's called Schadenfreude. There's a German word for that, Schadenfreude. When you laugh about other people's misfortune. And it is fun, you know. In Katerina's gonna be fine. She's gonna Fritz is gonna be fine. Call Me Carson is gonna probably be fine. They all will be gonna be fine. It's gonna be like, yeah, sure, they might like get I don't know, like get a lot of heat from it right now. But it's like, at the end of the day, we're gonna laugh at it. A lot of people are gonna make fun of it, and then everything is gonna return to normal. What I don't like is when the internet goes completely batshit insane. Like when something like not Peanut Butter Gamer. I always forget this fucking name.
Is it Pro Jared?
Pro Jared. When the Pro Jared situation happens, right? When someone gets the Pro Jared situation. Like when someone gets really hurt. Like that's not without like people thinking about it. Like that like really hurt, almost killed his career without much evidence, which is like, ooh. And here we have evidence. Like we have evidence. So it's fine.
Pro Jared, like I didn't know much about him.
Yeah.
But then I watched his I don't know if it's an apology or what you would call it, but I instantly gained like tons of respect for that dude.
Yeah.
How he dealt with it.
Yeah, sure.
That was an awesome video.
It was still dumb for him to make an account where people could send their naked pictures to us because, you know, you're a YouTuber, so you shouldn't do that. You have a lot of power.
No.
It's like the same goes for the same goes for politicians, the same goes for policemen, the same goes for any authority figure. Like, generally speaking, you shouldn't do that. But, you know, that shouldn't kill a man's career if it haven't done anything, you know, to warrant it.
No. And I think he probably is better off now, though.
Probably, yeah. Because now he has basically a shield. Like every next allegation is gonna fall as the first question is gonna did this happen? Like he has gained a shield. He became stronger, basically.
Yeah. So plus, I mean, now I kind of pay attention to him.
Yeah,
I didn't before.
He probably got a lot of people paying attention to him now because of this whole situation.
Yeah. Internet drama is like, it's all about how the creator responds to it. Yeah. So they can grow off of it or it can kill them. It just depends on what they do with it.
Yeah. I mean, I'm pretty sure I'm gonna get in hot waters at some point. I have very controversial opinions sometimes.
The spoilers thing, dude.
Yeah, the spoilers thing alone can kill me if I post it again in the /gaming Reddit. And then
that's worse than fucking 5 dudes, dude.
Yeah. We're having a controversial opinion. Yeah, a controversial opinion on spoilers is worse than fucking 5 dudes. I get murdered down there, you know? They're absolutely brutal down the subreddit. They're gonna ban me for life. Just because I said spoilers are dumb. Yeah. If you don't care, we care.
All right, man. I think I've got to wrap this up.
Okay. I'm not gonna take too much time. But one last question: if anyone's starting a channel right now, what advice would you give them?
Anybody starting?
It's also a good answer.
Well, it's because there's a lot to Personally, if I was to give any advice, just do it. I think just start your channel. If you're thinking about it, just do it. Start putting content out there. See how people respond to it. Experiment a little bit. Try new things. You have like 1 or 2 years before anybody's really going to be paying attention to you at all. So might as well just start it. Try having fun and just see where it goes. That's kind of what I think personally. I don't know if you would agree with that, but
no, I agree pretty much with everything you said.
So
good.
But yeah, thank you for having me on. This was a lot of fun.
Thank you for coming by. We basically did 2 projects in once. Great.
Yeah, it was great. I really liked meeting you. I think that you're a real cool guy. I wouldn't mind coming on again.
Oh, don't make me cry. Oh.
I don't want to make you. I'm crying.
You're crying. I'm crying. Okay, fine. Okay.